The Oklahoma City Thunder are finally gaining some national recognition from some media sources such as ESPN, Fox Sports, and Bleacher Report as being one of the best young teams in NBA history, along with one of the best teams in the NBA right now with some of the additions that they made in Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso this offseason, also retaining some key players like Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, who we'll talk about, who was listed as the #1 most underrated player in the NBA by Bleacher Report. You heard that right. The most underrated player in the NBA, Aaron Wiggins, the man who saved basketball himself, that plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're going to break down what they had to say in the article, along with some other guys that I feel like are underrated and not talked about enough on this Oklahoma City Thunder squad as well later on in this video. Before we get all this, though, I want to take a moment and say not only 9% of you guys that are subscribed to the channel have that bell notification turned on. It means the world to me if you guys could just hit that bell if you guys are subscribed. And if you guys don't want to miss, any new videos that come out, you want to stay up to date and instantly see when a video comes out, the best way to do that is hit the bell notification. That way you get notified when a video comes out here on Thunder Digest. This, place where we're going to try to give you all the major and breaking news about the Thunder. And really, we try to do it every day, but we know there's some days nothing's going on. That's fine. But that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the video and talk about what's going on with Aaron Wiggins being the most underrated player apparently in the NBA. We'll break down this article that Bleacher Report had to say. I'll go ahead and start it off here. All right, first piece of information that we have. Repressed playing time could be a problem for many. Not Wiggins. He seldom seems like he's struggling to find his rhythm, even when his shots aren't falling. Some might even argue that his low-minutes bench role is responsible for his highest highs. It preserves his energy and manages his matchups at times. That's somewhat fair, but it's also something I'm not inclined to buy. Oklahoma City routinely assigns Wiggins to red carpet defensive assignments. He almost always holds his own. Good luck throwing an entry pass with him in the vicinity. He also has the shot-blocking instincts of a power forward. Wiggins' offense can give off a tweener feel. He is a potential lead guard, secondary creator, scorer, first swingman. So as they can see there, all right, as we can see what they had to say, they kind of value Wiggins as a guy that does it all at a very good rate. Like we've mentioned multiple times on this channel here. I think Aaron Wiggins is that guy where you can go to him to rely on him for any part of basketball. Whether that's being a playmaker, a shot creator, a shot maker, defensive masterclass down low in the paint, or out on the wing. He can do everything at such an efficient rate, at such a high rate, that you can rely on him to make his way into the lineup at any point, whether it's as a starter, being the true sixth man on the team, being like the eighth guy coming off the bench, being someone that comes in, okay, we need you to guard this team's best player, which we aren't going to have him do that anymore. With the addition of Alex Caruso and also Dort being on the team as well, we don't have to have him be this guy coming off the bench and being someone that has to take the defensive load that they kind of said there, where he has the main matchup off the bench. So that's good to see from him. That's good to see that they're kind of taking notice of what his game actually is, because I feel like he was a guy no one really talked about. He's on a very friendly contract for 5 years, $45 million. All right, that is very, very team friendly. It is. And so, or is it 5? It might be 5 years, $40 million. I think Isaiah Joe is the 4-year, $45 million, somewhere around there. I do know it's a very team-friendly option that I think it talks about later on in this article in this video. But, like I said, Aaron Wiggins is this jack of all trades. And we also got someone else in that with A.J. Mitchell lately in the draft, what we've seen from him in the summer league so far. Aaron Wiggins, he just does everything. And they brought that up in the article here. And that's why he's one of the most underrated players in the league. You can rely on him to do anything. Now, I don't think he's like a second option on a contending team. I think there are some contending teams he could be the third option, and then almost every team he could be the fourth option as well for every contending team, for sure, no matter what. Even on the Celtics, I feel like he could be a fourth option. I feel like his offensive bag is on par, if not a little bit deeper than Derek White and Drew Holiday. I might go ahead and say that out there. I might have to get that out there right now. His bag might be deeper than Derek White's. He might be a better player than Derek White. It's just the fact that he's young and he hasn't ever had the time or opportunity to kind of shine and show out in OKC because of the guys he's playing with. When you look at it, it's J-Dub and SGA are the guys that he's trying to compete and play over. Even Josh Giddey in his first 3 years here, he was trying to play over Giddey, which was kind of hard to do, especially with how well Giddey played coming into the Thunder and also in his second year. So as you can see, he's had tough competition. So, of course, he's gone under the radar and no one's really recognized him, even though he's one of the best bench players in the league. He could definitely win a Sixth Man of the Year with the Thunder next year if he plays like he has been. He has that much of an impact when he's on the floor because he can do everything for a team. Going to what article has to say more now here. Talking about Aaron Wiggins, the number of counters in his bag deepens each year. He can break down defenses off the dribble from a dead stop, and when his pass to the hoops are cut off, he can uncork a step back or turn around or fadeaway or floater or, well, you get the point. So I gotta say, he has a deep bag. He can do whatever he wants on the offensive side. In true Oklahoma City fashion, though they can't keep getting away with this, Thunder just signed Wiggins to a 5-year, $45 million contract, a deal that will pay out on a descending scale. Because, of course, you knew the agreement would be team-friendly once OKC declined his club option. That number is low, even by those standards. Whether Wiggins will ever have the opportunity to expand his role in the Thunder is debatable. The issue of whether he's earned it and capable of it is not. That's the thing. We all know he's capable of being a starter. For a majority of teams, maybe even every team in the NBA, he could be a starter with what he has to offer offensively and defensively. It's just an OKC. It comes out to the point with us where we don't really need him to be a starter. We have guys that are better, fortunately, than Aaron Wiggins, and Aaron Wiggins is a great player. It's just, it helps us out having someone of his caliber off the bench who was a starter for, I believe, all 29 other NBA teams. Now, there are some teams where it could kind of be like, are you sure when you look at position-wise? However, the thing with Wiggins is he could play the 1 through 4. He can't play the center. We know that. He doesn't have the size for that, but defensively and IQ-wise, he can play the 4 if you need him to. He's 6'6". He can play that 4 spot for you at some points. J-Dub is our 4 at the moment, or at least he was last season. We're not sure what the starting lineup's going to look like, so we don't know if he'll move down to the 3 or stay at the 4, depending on who starts between Caruso or Hartenstein. But Aaron Wiggins, he plays 4 positions on the court. He can be a point guard for you. He can be a shooting guard, small forward, or power forward. So that gets to the point where a lot of teams where they're missing someone in that 1 through 4 spot, a lot of teams have the center position, set what they want. They're just looking for either a 4 or a 2 or a 1. Aaron Wiggins comes in and fills that role instantly. And that's a steal for us. Having someone that is that versatile off the bench, being able to provide all these different roles. Now, some other guys that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about, especially two that I feel like had big roles on this team that no one really recognized until kind of playoff time, especially for one of them. The first guy that we're going to talk about in those regards is Cason Wallace, who I just mentioned. In the playoffs, you could kind of tell, okay, this guy has potential, and he helps out the Thunder a ton. Averaged 7 points a game in his rookie season with 2 rebounds and 1.5 assists per game, half a block and a steal per game, less than a turnover a game, less than 2 fouls off the bench, 49% field goal shooter, and 42% from behind the three-point line. 6'4", 20 years old. He's about to be 21 in not too long, about 100 days or so. So as you can see, good player. He shot 47% on corner threes, 96% of his threes are assisted, and 52% of all of his shots are three-pointers. This is a guy a lot of people just kind of forgot about, that I don't think they recognized during the rookie season, that he just kind of went under the radar. And when you saw him in the playoffs, how he was with the game-winning lockdown defense against CJ McCollum against the Pelicans, he was locking him down. Even sometimes when we had to guard Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving in the Mavericks series that we unfortunately lost, you could tell, okay, defensively, this dude knows how to play. People were finally recognizing that because we were on national media television. We were playing in front of the entire nation, even the world, with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And so people were finally recognizing, okay, they have some great guys off the bench. This team is really deep. Another guy that I feel like people don't even really talk about all that much is Jaylin Williams, who is listed as a center. He's more of a power forward in my eyes. 6'9", he's 22 years old, so still a young guy there. Last season averaged 4 points a game, 3 rebounds, 1.5 assists, half a block and steal a game, less than a turnover, less than 2 fouls a game, 41% from the field, and then 37% from behind the three-point line, 35% on corner threes. 1,000 of his threes are assisted. He's a guy that does a lot of pick and pop threes, and 63% of all of his shots are threes. Now, he doesn't really show up in the points columns or stats really. His IQ is off the charts. When you look at Jaylin Williams, you're going to leave these stats up here for a second. As you can see, 4 points a game isn't really that game-changing. He is a 37% three-point shooter, which is great for his size and mobility, which is great to have. Where he really excels is his IQ defensively. I don't know if you guys have ever watched him in a game. The amount of screens he takes, the amount of times he knows when to help out. His help defense IQ is off the charts. His help offense IQ is off the charts. Like, everything about his IQ is just off the charts. He is a smart basketball player, which helps us out a ton down the stretch when we need help defensively or we need screens offensively for him to take a little screen and pop out to the wing, boom, three-pointer that he knocks down, or even to the top of the key. He's a good three-point shooter. It's just he provides that little spark for us IQ-wise when we're kind of struggling, we don't know how to move the ball. He is there for us to kind of get either an offensive set up there or for a defensive stop because he knows what they're going to do, what the opposing offense is going to do at the next play in the next moment. He knows what's going on. He's kind of a step ahead when he's on the court. His skill doesn't really translate. He's an average basketball player. He's a good player for us. I don't think he'd ever really be a starter besides that rookie season, but he is a great bench option for us at the 4, which is just what we kind of need. Because Chet and Hart are going to split the center minutes, whether Hartenstein starts as well. And then, he gets subbed off, with 5-6 minutes left in the first quarter. Chet takes over for 4 minutes. Hartenstein comes back in for another 6 to 8 minutes at the center position. Chet Holmgren comes back in. They're kind of sharing those center minutes as well. So it's just one of those things where I think J. Will is going to play more of a power forward position where I think his natural position is, and he's going to really excel. You could probably see him average 6 points a game off the bench, though along with maybe a block as well with help defense. Because like I mentioned, his help defense IQ is insane. It's just his basketball IQ in itself is, it's probably top 50 in the league would be my guess. Top 50 IQ wise. He's just a smart basketball player, and that helps you out a ton down the stretch when you don't know what to do, when your mind is clouded and you're kind of stressed out, you're getting pressured, you don't know what to do. He's calm, relaxed, and he knows what play they need to run if they want to succeed, which is great for us as a bench option as well. So like I mentioned, a ton of underrated players on OKC. I'm finally glad that Aaron Wiggins is getting the national recognition he deserves, along with some of our players in the playoffs like Cason Wallace. I think they'd still deserve some more because there are some guys here like Cason Wallace. If he develops, he could be starters for other teams. Isaiah Joe, he could be starters for other teams as well. Alex Caruso, we know he's a starter for other teams. It's just he might not start for us, along with Hartenstein. J. Will, there's some teams he might be able to start for. I think he's more of a career, bench player, like a 6th or 7th man. But he could be one of the best in the league at that. So it's just one of those things where you look at it, we're stacked. We're deep. We can make runs. We're like 10 people deep. We're 10 guys deep, which is insane to think about. That is insane to think about. And it's just, I'm glad that we're finally getting the national recognition outside of SGA and Chet. J-Dub doesn't even really get a ton of national recognition. He is now, with his brother Cody, being drafted into the NBA, which is great for him as well. But outside of those 3 guys, no one really gets national media attention, so it's good to see that finally happening. But let me know down in the comment section below who you guys think are some other underrated players on the OKC Thunder squad that could really make an impact for us next season, or some other underrated players that you guys personally watch in the NBA, and you guys are like, you're like, man, this guy can ball. This would be a great addition to the team, and whoever has him, has a good one there for whatever squad they're a part of. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.